CS Lands, welcome back to the Senate. You're here to respond to question number 37 by the Senator from Marsabit, question number 45 by Senator Hamida Kibwana, and question number 64 by the Senator for Nairobi City County. We will start with question number 64 by the Senator for Nairobi City County, the Honorable Edwin Sifuna. Honorable Senator, you may proceed to ask your question.
Speaker, I want to thank both you and the Senator Chute for your indulgence that I go first. And I always appreciate the CS for Lands for coming to the Senate to answer questions from the people that we represent. So it's question number 64. Could the Cabinet Secretary disclose the current ownership status of a parcel of land number LR 209/4401 in Buruburu, Makadara constituency, where Martin Luther Primary School is situated, and indicate the total acreage of the said parcel? Secondly, could the Cabinet Secretary provide details on any leases, grants, allocation, subdivision, or other land transactions undertaken in respect of the said parcel of land from 1957 to date? Lastly, what actions has the ministry taken in respect of the reported complaints by the Board of Management of the Martin Luther Primary School regarding encroachment on the parcel and attempts by certain persons to grab the piece of land? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may respond.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This morning, the question raised by the Honorable Senator Edwin Sifuna, Senator for Nairobi County, relating to Martin Luther Primary School here in Nairobi. Honorable Speaker, I have put in a written response to the question. The question has 3 parts, as read out just now by the Honorable Senator. I will go straight to respond as written, Honorable Speaker, with your permission. And I appreciate that previously I have requested to be excused because of other duties that have come into conflict with the request by Senate to be here, and therefore it's not deliberate keeping away from my duty to come and respond. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, the particular question relates to parcel number 209/4401, and this parcel, Honorable Speaker, relates to various parcels. And what we are saying is that the parcel is within the Nairobi City County. It was registered, this particular parcel, because it's a bigger parcel than where the primary school is, was registered in favor of City Council of Nairobi on 23rd March 1956. And it was for a term of 9 years. In 1953, there had been planning for this particular land. The measurement is 104 acres or 42.31 hectares. Therefore, that tells the Senate or this plenary that the land is big and is well delineated on survey plan number 55114, and I have annexed the survey map, Honorable Speaker. I want to say, Honorable Speaker, that the City Council of Nairobi, now the Nairobi City County, which was responsible for planning, surveying, and subsequent allocation of the resultant subplots, because the parcel has been subdivided, and therefore the beneficiaries include public institutions. If Honorable Speaker, maybe I make reference to the survey plan, it obviously shows various parcels. Among those parcels, therefore, then there is the Martin Luther Primary School, and the parcels are numbered between 3 to 882. Therefore, we can talk about 880 parcels, and the title for the larger parcel is attached. I've also endeavored to attach the PDP, the development plan, as Annexure 2, and that Annexure 2 clearly shows where the primary school is. I believe I have Honorable Speaker, I'm suffering from site issues. Honorable Speaker, if it is marked in green, the size of the school. No, thank you. Thank you very much for your kindness. Honorable Speaker, the size of that parcel that is marked green, and I can always clarify, I wish to state as follows that the ministry, I think what I'm saying, Honorable Speaker, as I will proceed further, is that we have already pulled out. What we found is that there was no survey for the specific plot where the school is using. Despite the fact that the entire land had been surveyed, this particular parcel, after the PDP, the parcel for the school was left basically unsurveyed without beacons, and no actual survey was done. So, Honorable Speaker, therefore, maybe it's important for me to say on page, the overleaf, that I wish to state that the ministry has there is a question on C for complaint in terms of what we have done to complaints. But maybe I wish to say that in B, this parcel, having been one of the parcels that ought to have been given numbers, it was left without survey. Ordinarily, most public utilities in this country have not been surveyed, and we find, and that is why that's why we came up with the institutional titling. And therefore, if I proceed to the third question, maybe it will bring out what I want to say, that the ministry has no records of complaint because I've been asked what we have done. I've tried to go through my records to find out whether there is a complaint by the primary school. I didn't find any. There could be, but for now I was unable to find any specific. And I instructed my teams, Honorable Speaker, to call the primary school, the head teacher. She was very untrusting of KJ because she didn't understand who was calling her. It is not me, but my teams couldn't get the response we were looking for because I wanted to know whether she has correspondence relating to the entire parcel. And we found that after we surveyed, we were able to get parcel number, which I have given down there, parcel number, block number 56/853, because after receiving this question, your Honorable Speaker, I instructed the Director of Survey, and that's what I'm saying in this answer, especially the last two paragraphs, to survey the land because I found it was not surveyed. So we have surveyed that parcel. We have come up, from the survey, the director of survey found 8.44 acres that was able to be completed by way of survey. And Honorable Speaker, I'm in the process of survey is complete. I have directed the Land Administration Director to issue a lease for Martin Luther King, and that's what I'm saying in the last paragraph. A lease has been now processed in the name of Nairobi City County because this land, the lessor, is Nairobi City County, and therefore Martin Luther King will be a beneficiary, but the county will hold the lease in trust for the use by the primary school. The lease document has been forwarded to the county secretary, Honorable Speaker, Nairobi City County Government for execution, being the lessors, and therefore soon thereafter I'll be able to get a certificate of title. And so I was saying that the primary school was not able to give me relevant information, but I have asked for further engagement with the head teacher, Honorable Speaker, so that I find out where the claim for the school is coming from. Honorable Speaker, let me say that the particular parcel where we may be departing with the fact that the whole land belongs to the primary school, I'm saying in paragraph 2 there, I'm aware that the school has a claim of ownership of RL number 209-10466. That is a different parcel from the parcel, the question sent to me raised by the Honorable Senator, because the parcel Honorable Senator was discussing is the bigger mother title, parcel number 4401, and that does not include, from the records that I have found, does not include parcel number 10466, which measures 2.150, as more particularly shown in survey plan, the survey plan 126375, registered in the name of the BT Enterprise Company Limited. So to answer this question comprehensively, there are two titles or two parcels, but the school, Honorable Speaker, maybe I could finish that and say that the grant for a term of 99 years with effect from 1st of April, this is now relating to where the BT is, and that is really maybe the claim by the school. That land belongs to the BT Enterprise by way of grant given with effect from 1st of April 1982 at an annual rent of 7,000. The grant for this property was issued on 24th June 1986 by the then Commissioner of Lands, and it was registered in 1986. On 17th of December 1986, the property was charged to Standard Bank, and therefore the actual position is that this parcel is not within the party development plan, which contains parcel number 4401, and therefore it did not belong to the county government or county council then. Well, therefore, there has been a challenge is how then does the school seem to occupy the first parcel that I have now made a lease and waiting for the lease to be executed by the county government, because even though it's a primary school, ordinarily the CS Treasury becomes the trustee on behalf of the school. But this specific one, by virtue of the entire mother title being owned or under the lessorship of the county government, will have to be signed by the county government. I do not see any challenge because the school is using that land, which is then I've given the acreage there. Maybe the question is then how does the school on the ground, how is the school on the ground using this particular parcel? And that's why the school has been complaining about encroachment, possibly oblivious of the fact that this title, measuring 2.15 hectares, that's about 5 acres, has a different ownership. Honorable Speaker, I have been trying to think through this particular eventuality. I believe because the two parcels in terms of ownership, one was under the Commissioner of Land and the other one under the county government, I believe that because this land was given by way of a letter of allotment, proper process, there may have been an oversight, Honorable Speaker, to complete this answer, that possibly the people who should have gone to the ground, because the school seems to have been there even then, but the ground is occupied by the school, and therefore a ground report should have guided the commissioner not to allocate this land. So if any changes were to occur, then the process of recovery of the land in the name of the BT, who have been unable to access by way of occupation of this parcel because the school is using that land. And therefore, I suppose that that is something that will require maybe further interrogation and rethinking of how then to engage the BT and the school. That is something I would be willing to undertake, but for now, the legal title for that particular parcel belongs to the BT, and there is nothing I can do about it for now other than further interrogation to understand what happened those days. And as you can see, Honorable Speaker, it's a fairly old lease that was issued with effect from 1982. The lease takes effect from 1982, although it was issued on 24th of June, 1986. So it's not a recent encroachment, and it is not an encroachment, it's just the fact as it is. And therefore, we can only understand. And I'm told that the BT has never been able to access because the ground occupation is by the school. I think I've given enough response, unless there is need for further clarification, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Sifuna, do you have any supplementary question?
Yes, in fact I do, Honorable Speaker. I'm sure I'm not the only one in the House who's been left more confused by the responses when we began. Honorable Speaker, I want the CS to know there is a reason why the school administration do not trust them. There's a reason. In just the last 3 weeks, there was, I don't know if the CS is aware, there was an attack by goons at the school. We have had 3 head teachers in the last 2 years, and they are very aged, of course, Honorable Speaker, given the circumstances. And I would want to advise the CS that there's a reason why these people come to the elected representatives. If you wanted engagements with them, you should have done it through my office, and I'm sure we would have made progress. But I want to be very, very specific, Honorable CS. You have established that there was an error, that the school was there before this allocation was made to the BT. I think what you should be telling this House is that we, as a Senate, together with your ministry, should go to the ground and ascertain the facts. If these people have never been on occupation, the lawyers in the House will tell you about adverse possession. You cannot lay to claim to a property that you have never occupied. I think in the public interest, why is it not possible for your ministry to cancel that title for Tabiti so that the school can continue to operate in the space that it has always operated? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may respond.
I believe the Honorable Senator, Honorable Speaker, is in a better place by way of the response I've given. One, the school did not have a title, and I have prepared and done processes to prepare a title measuring 8.44 acres. So that is a step that I have made following this question when I made necessary records interrogation. Number two, I have said that I have found that there was a title, another title, and the school did not seem to understand, one, that they did not have a title at all. They have not engaged my office. And the fact that you are saying I should have come through your office, I think, Honorable Speaker, the normal processes by the ministry have been undertaken, and I am not saying we will not get to the school. All I'm saying is that I needed more time, and we will be looking at that. I will not be able to commit here that I will cancel the title. What I will commit to do is to understand how the two seem to have, a title seemed to have been issued by the commissioner, and it is not for yesterday. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, it's better that I make full disclosure. Whenever I have made good attempt to even cancel title, which is fraudulently issued, and maybe I have a DCI report. I'm not saying there is one in this particular matter, but I have faced litigation, including Tom Boyer. I'm facing litigation in court because obviously the courts don't agree that I have the authority as the cabinet secretary to cancel a title without an order of the court. So basically what we need to see is what gap could have existed before the title was issued if the school at that time was on the ground. And therefore, I don't think there is any confusion. So far, the school, in my view, sits at a better place because I've issued the title for what is possible to issue, and then we deal with the balance of the land that's already having another title. And therefore, considering the time this question came, processes of cancellation of title are also legal processes, and if you have to have proper grounds to be able to proceed. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Manzo.
Mr. Speaker, the Cabinet Secretary has talked of survey that land recently. And Mr. Speaker, in many parts of the country with similar primary schools, I have a similar situation as the Martin Luther Primary School. What has the CS done to make sure that this are secured, and especially that survey, where nowadays, Mr. Speaker, they are charging 38,000 shillings as a ministry to do survey for anyone in public land like schools and also private land, especially in Kibwezi, West Makueni, Makindu area, where residents are up at arms. What is this new fee you are charging Kenyans? And have you finally been to this school? Have you visited this school to know the status, to see for yourself on ground? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mngatana.
Asante sana Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi hii. Bwana Spika, hii swali inahusu shule ya msingi ya Martin Luther hapa Nairobi. Ya kwamba walinyang'anywa, ni kama wamenyang'anywa title deed ya mahali ambapo wanafanyia hiyo shule imejengwa. Swali ni kwamba kwetu Tana River na katika kaunti zingine, je, kuna mpango wowote wa kiserikali wa kuhakikisha kwamba shule zote zinapewa title deed badala ya kungojea mambo yafanyike alafu unatoa lease ya kujaribu kurekebisha? Kuna mpango wowote ambao serikali iko nayo? Manake kama mambo ya taa, tunajua electricity, tuko na mipangilio ya kwenda kwa mashule na kuweka hizo taa, stima. Lakini je, kwa wizara ya ardhi kuna mpangilio wowote? Kwa sababu haya tusipoyafanya, leo tutafanya Martin Luther, kesho tutafanya ingine na ingine na ingine. Je, waziri, kuna mpangilio wowote? Asante Bwana Spika.
Senator Mundege.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi niweze kuomba swali katika Embu County. Madam Waziri, umefanya kazi nzuri mahali nyingine ya kujaribu kurekebisha mambo ya mashamba, na ni kesi imekuwa na mambo mengi. katika Embu County, Mbeere South, Mwea Sub County, kuna shinda na imekaa kwa miaka mingi. Watu wengine wako na title D, wengine wana, kuna shinda na unaielewa vizuri, wengine wako na eka kama 100. Ni njia gani unaweza kusaidia kusiwe na mambo ya vita? Kwa sababu kuna uvumi kutakuwa na vita kubwa sana kwa wale watu wako wa mashamba na wale wa wako. Ndio kila mtu aweze kupata kama ni eka 3 ama eka 5. Na unajua hiyo maneno utasaidia namna gani hiyo maneno ndio iweze kuisha, ndio kila mtu awe ameridhika. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Senator Chute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Madam CS, thank you for coming here today. Honorable Speaker, I was a bit confused because Madam CS had some eye problem, or even she was not following her documents quite well. Honorable Speaker, Madam CS talked about she is going to do further investigations. She has deferred to come to this house on several occasions. She had enough time to conclude this matter. Can she tell this house when, the exact time, she's going to conclude this matter to its final conclusion? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Mwenda Gataya.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker. Mheshimiwa Speaker, nafikiri nimekuwa na maswali mengi sana kuhusu hati miliki. Sana sana kwa zile sehemu ambazo zimepakana na kaunti zingine. Mimi natoka Tharaka Nithi, Mheshimiwa Speaker. Na kuna sehemu ambazo Mheshimiwa Speaker zimekumbwa na mizozano mingi sana kwa sababu kumekuwa na vita kati ya watu kwa sababu ya ukosaji wa kimiliki, hati miliki, Mheshimiwa Speaker. So ningependa kuuliza Mheshimiwa Waziri, ni lini wakati wizara yako itaweka mipango, kwa sababu kuna sehemu ambazo kama Tulima location, sehemu za Ntoroni, sehemu za Murinda ambazo kwa jandi zimekuwa na mizozano na kaunti jirani. Hizo sehemu zitapata haki miliki lini, na mashule ambayo yako huko bado yanakumbwa na hiyo hayo matatizo?
Senator Osoti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask the Cabinet Secretary to tell this House the status of processing titles for schools. Because I remember there was a time when the government said that they were going to process titles for all the schools in the country. And now you can see the position we are in with Martin Luther. So can she tell this House the status of titling of all the schools in the country?
That's what Honorable Mgatana has just asked. Senator Munyahaji.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mine is just to ask the CS that initially this land where the school is sitting was LR number 209/4401, which was subdivided. Now, what was the original area that was reserved for the Martin Luther School? Thank you.
Senator Kathuri.
Asante sana Bwana Speaker. Kwanza ni kushukuru waziri ambaye nimefanya naye kazi kwa miaka 10. Tuliingia bunge naye mwaka wa 2013. Na kwanza kabisa mashule yanashinda ya hati miliki, shule mingi hazina hati miliki za mashamba, public schools. Then swali yangu mwafaka Bwana Speaker, nauliza sababu vile Senator Gataya amesema kati ya Meru County na Tharaka Nithi kuna mzozano sana wa mashamba pale. Na Bwana Speaker, watu wameuawa pale, wengine wanakatakatana kidogo. Na kuna shida pale, na kuna Kongo report ambayo ilitolewa miaka ya zamani. Na hiyo Kongo report iliambiwa ndio itarainisha hiyo mpaka yetu, Bwana Speaker. Kwa hivyo nauliza waziri kama ako na taarifa ya kwamba kuna shida iko katika hiyo sehemu ya nchi ya Kenya, na vipi atafanya kuhakikisha ile Kongo report imefuatiliwa vizuri na mashamba yamewekwa bayana na kurainishwa kati ya mpaka ya Tharaka Nithi na Meru County, Bwana Speaker. Asante.
Honorable CS, you may now respond to those questions.
Honorable Speaker, I think most questions relate to what is the ministry doing in respect of titering for the schools, the public schools in the country. We have a national school titering program for the primary schools. I do not have the update of where we are, but it is work in progress, and we are working on that. That is something I can give a report later of how many titles we expect to produce, the ones, and then possibly also look at where we may have a problem. But the titling is free, and we are not charging the schools. It is part of our titling program, which is an annual program also, where we target about 400,000 titles in total. But for school, it's a separate program that we are working on, and I can provide a report in due course, or as may be required by the Senate, on where we are, because that question was not with me. And therefore, I want to assure the Senate that there is a program specific for titling, but it's also important that the managers of the schools and any member of parliament or senator can also support in terms of sensitization so that the schools provide necessary records. But we are under that program, there is survey and titling itself, and all those fees are covered by the ministry. In terms of this school, I think the question is, because the land was bigger, what was the size of the school? I think sometimes the truth is the better answer. The school land that is in the PDP is what we have now surveyed through my office of the Director of Survey. And the total acreage, and I believe there is no confusion about that, is 8.44 acres. The school, however, is using a bigger land with a different title. The extension to the land titled in the name of the BT is not part of the PDP. May I clarify? The PDP that I have put here as one of the annexures is for the land where the school is, the 104 acres. The extra land where the BT has been given a title was a different title, different PDP. That was an allotment and allocation by the former Commissioner of Lands. And therefore, the two are different parcels. But the school may not have known that. I don't need to go to the ground because the aerial survey has shown me where the school is occupying. So the school is occupying the land that we have now come up with a survey and are titling. In the next 30 days, I will have a list for that. Of course, I may be, possibly there could be an argument, maybe that I am now allowing, I should have done the entire land where the school is occupying. It's not possible because you cannot issue a title, Honorable Speaker, to a land that already has a title. You would have to start a process of either cancelling or dealing with the existing title. But the title I'm preparing, there was no title on that land. So I think to that extent, I may not need to go to the school because my Director of Survey has actually gone to the school personally. The report is correct. I think we should be looking at what happened so that there is another title in a parcel of land that is being utilized by the school. And I have clarified that it was an allotment by the commissioner which was not allotted to the school. I have no record to show that the school, other than that they are using, using also doesn't give full rights to the land. But and I think those are the processes I said they are legal. I think finally there was a question from Meru and Tharaka, the conflict that has stayed for long. I think the senator from Meru knows, and I have been here to respond to that question before, and I think it is on record in this Senate that the problem of Meru and Tharaka is not a titling problem. It's a community ethnicity problem because the people of Tharaka and the people of Meru have their own issues which at community level and leadership level must be addressed. Because when my teams went to that specific area to do titling, you have rightly said people have taken pangas, people have fought. They must reach a point where they agree to leave the work to the Ministry of doing titling and showing them where the parcels are. But they want my ministry to deal with administrative and electoral boundary issues which are not within the issue of land and titling. I think the two counties must deal with those disputes, bring the communities together, and when those are resolved, because IBC is really the institution that should deal with the disputes regarding to the dispute of electoral boundaries. They have mixed electoral boundaries now, the county boundaries and land boundaries. Then it becomes very complicated. The people who are Tharaka and they have land falling within the Meru County don't want to be given land with the parcel numbers that show that the land is in Meru, for example. And similarly, people in Meru also don't want. So until we deal then with the electoral boundary of the counties or the county governors, who also don't seem to want to deal with the issue because they say it's a political issue. So until that is resolved, Honorable Speaker, I am not able to complete. That work started quite a while back. We have left it because my people, the technical people at the ministry, were actually chased with those pangas that the Honorable Senator has said. And we don't want to risk lives. We need to resolve the issue. And therefore, and the Honorable Senator knows that it's a bigger issue and it's not a titling. That's a work I can finish in 2-3 months. Let them deal with the political issue, Your Honorable Speaker. Yes. There was a question from Embu. Embu dispute is not before me, Honorable Speaker, for now. And the clans, the land issues in some of the... We basically have finished a lot of demarcation and adjudication, but cases seem to still be coming back, and those are cases on appeals, not necessarily that we are not working, but I think the Embu communities also have too many objections that stop the completion of adjudication. But largely, we have done most of the work in terms of adjudication in Embu. If there are disputes, they could be, because I don't have details of the disputes you are referring to, they could be property disputes or boundary disputes or clan disputes that I know sometimes stay longer. So maybe the Honorable Senator Mudigi could bring to my attention the specific parcels or adjudication sections so that I can be specific and deal with those. Thank you very much.
Senator Faki, has your query been responded to?
I asked the CS whether that land which has now been subdivided and a portion allocated to the school, was it part of the original LR number 204/4401? Because if it was part of that, then there must have been a PDP which was made that subdivided the rest of the land and allocated it to the other buyers or whoever they were. And then the land which was remaining was a public utility land. And if it was public utility, then the school occupied the whole land that was shown to be a public utility land. And thereafter, somebody hived a portion of that land. In doing so, he has now denied the school a portion of that land. Now, if the CS proceeds to issue a title now for the portion that is used by the school and leaving out the other portion, It will in a way legitimately give that land to Thabiti Finance. Just like what happened with Ruaraka the other day. I think the Supreme Court gave a decision, and the Ruaraka issue was here in the Senate, in the last Senate, where the Public Accounts Committee was probing the payment of 1.5 billion towards that land. So if the CS maybe could do her investigations before they issue this title to the school at the moment, because if they issue, in a way, they'll be giving a go-ahead to the owner of the other portion that this now does not belong to the school. The school has been given their title, and therefore they should restrict to their title. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS.
Honorable Speaker, may I maybe repeat myself so that possibly I can clarify for the Honorable Senator. I have annexure 1 shows the land as per PDP that is for the school. That parcel and is also marked Martin Luther under the PDP, Martin Luther Primary School. That is the land I have surveyed, and I'm processing the title. The land next, which is indicated the PT, is not the same parcel as the parcel where the school is. We are talking about parcel number 4401, that is part of the land subdivided. Through the PDP, it will tell you where the school is, and it is marked Martin Luther. Not by me, it is marked Martin Luther. So my work was basically following this question to check the records, and the records I found is that there was no title for Martin Luther School. There was a PDP, and PDP is the one that guides you to the production of the title. Whether I like it or not, I cannot change and extend to a parcel they are occupying, because they could also be encroaching. I mean, let's be open. The fact that the school is using doesn't mean that the land was part of what was marked up this as the school, because a PDP has its own place and boundaries. So what we do is to survey so that we can get the exact land or size occupied or covering the PDP or covered by the PDP. So I haven't changed anything. I found that the land next, part which they are using, has a different title. And that title was not issued yesterday. So I have legitimized nothing by issuing title to the school, because in any case, unsurveyed land means that land can easily be encroached because it has no title. So I think, Honorable Speaker, I've discharged my responsibility towards the school land that is available insofar as the records are concerned. And I said, and therefore I have not legitimized anything. What I have done is to work on the documents. Any other claim by the school can be followed so that we see how the BT and the school seem to claim the same land. And that claim cannot be prejudiced by the work I have done, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Senators. We'll now move to question number 037 by the Senator for Marsabit County, the Honorable Mohammed Chute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, question A, could the Cabinet Secretary provide details on registration status of plot number or parcel number 570-686, comprising approximately 214 plots along Nyayo Road in Marsabit County? Question B, could the Cabinet Secretary explain why, despite government allotment letters being issued in 2018 and allotment fees paid in the year 2024, a number of beneficiaries are yet to receive their title deeds? Question C, what measures has the ministry put in place to fast-track the issuance of title deeds to the affected beneficiaries And could the Cabinet Secretary provide timelines for the same? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. The question by the Honorable Senator Mohammed Chute, MP, regarding parcel number 570 to parcel number 686 is true, amounting to 204 titles. Honorable Speaker, I have actually given a written response, 214 parcels approximately, along Nyayo Road in Marsabit County. I think the question is why the status. The status, Honorable Speaker, is that work has been ongoing. It is true allotments were issued sometimes back in 2018. Once allotments are issued, they are issued to different people, and these different people have the responsibility to pay fees as guided under each allotment letter. And it is actually not entirely correct to say that they had fully paid the allotment fees, because it's not like it was paid by one person or from one source. Individually, they are supposed to pay. What we have done, Honorable Speaker, is to now come out through and see those who have not paid and those who are paid, and we have prepared the leases following the allotments issued, and the leases are ready. The documentation of the leases are ready. The ministry received the letters of allotment from Nairobi National Land Commission for purposes of lease processing, a subsequent registration. Upon receipt of the letters of allotment, the Director of Land Administration caused the opening of respective correspondence files. So what I have put below there is a matrix, Honorable Speaker, that shows the plot number, the names of beneficiaries, and I believe the response clearly indicates also the correspondence files opened. We have finished that exercise completely, giving rise to a total of 210 parcels, and the leases documentation has been completed, Honorable Speaker, and I believe that response is self-explanatory, save to add that I have also forwarded these documents of leases to the registrar in Isiolo, because Marsabit is being covered from Isiolo. My registrar in Isiolo has all the records, so from there, the owners listed in these parcels would have to find their way to the registrar Isiolo to sign the lease document before the titling can be done. So I suppose, because I'm on a public platform, Honorable Speaker, is to say that all those parcels listed and the names can be made public. We have verified so that the persons involved, and I believe Honorable Senator who has raised this question, can be of help in terms of the necessary information. But the lease will not produce a title until it is executed, signed. They will require their PIN, their ID, and photographs taken by them individually to the registrar in Isiolo. And it means immediately that is done, everybody, each person will get their titles separately. So in terms of the process that is required, the ministry has discharged its duty to that extent, but I will have this file marked in a way that it is possible for people to get expedited process. Asante sana. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Chute, do you have any supplementary question?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, sometimes I don't understand how this government works. If a president goes to a particular place, you will find title deeds ready, prepared, ready to be delivered even 10,000 title deeds in a single day or 2-3 days. Honorable Speaker, from 2024 to date is over 3 years. And the question is very simple. The story of saying they have to go to Isiolo and to do those things, Isiolo is 2 hours from Marsabit. So the question is very clear. What action has she taken? Because it's 3 years now. They've paid for it. All the documents are ready. What action has she taken? Number two, my question C, Honorable Speaker, is very, very clear. Give us timelines. This CS doesn't want to talk about timelines. You remember even earlier I asked, she is talking about we are going to do it, we are going to do it. Why don't, she's supposed to tell this house? Because the people of Marsabit are asking, Yarod are asking, when will it be ready? So the question is very simple. Give us timelines. Say the people of Marsabit, Nyayo Road, will get their title deeds in the next 2 months, in the next 3 months. Give us timelines. Because I want to tell, I represent people. I want to tell them, yes, your title deeds will be ready on this date. So I'm waiting for the date, timeline. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My question to the CS is, do we have a lands registry in Marsabit so that these matters can be addressed, or in Isiolo? And why can't the office there settle these matters instead of bogging the ministry headquarters while we have registries, if we do have registries in that region, and if we don't have, are there plans to establish so that some matters can just be sorted locally?
Senator Manda Kataya.
Speaker, Honorable Speaker, one would be interested. After I've just received a concern from the landowners affected by Nidi Bridge. They would want to know the status of identification and the timelines for their compensation from your ministry. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Senators, it's good to ask questions that are related to the primary question. That will allow the Honorable CS to respond effectively. Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond to the questions that have just been asked.
Honorable Speaker, maybe sometimes I do not understand the challenge the Senator Chute has. He's asking me to say timeline. I have said I have discharged the responsibility of preparing the leases. Those leases, you need to understand the difference between lease documents and freehold titles. For freehold titles, where when we do adjudication, for example, it is possible to do thousands and thousands through the National Titling Center for an adjudication center, and it does not require the signature of the individual persons. But preparation of leases is a different process, where once the lease is prepared, I need your photograph, I need the ID, I need the PIN, which is then different process from freehold. For freehold, of course, when we are doing the entire list, which I would sign as a list, it also has IDs. But this one, they must specifically sign the lease for the period that they have been given. And that will require them to personally be present. Possibly it is how then will that be done? That is the question. I said my registrar in Isiolo, where the registry we have is the one that serves Marsabit County. And I am aware it is about 200 maybe kilometers or more from Marsabit. You have said that they will be asking you. Maybe working with you, then we can plan how the registrar can, the information can be given to these people to meet somewhere in Marsabit, maybe, because they also come from maybe around there. Then we can transport our registrar, because some days he also goes to Marsabit. But you see, that does not still remove the obligation for them to personally be present to sign the lease before I can do the certificate of title, which doesn't now require their signature. Once they sign the lease document for us, then we will produce the titles in a day or two, because this is not much. They will be brought to the national titling, where then we issue. And so the process here is, how do we make them, bring them to sign, either together or individually. If it is individually, then they will have to go to Isiolo, because I don't have a registry in Marsabit. And then, and therefore, do I have plans? What plans do we have? Budget allowing, we plan to have a registry in every, possibly in every 2-3 constituencies, because today we have about 88 registries, and we plan to devolve as much as possible. But for now, the registry is serving their Isiolo. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You asked whether we have plans. I think you didn't, Honorable Speaker. I think I have answered the question.
It's been answered, Senator Mandago. So then we now move to question number 05 by Senator Hamida Kibwana. Now, before you, okay, you proceed, but from the written response by the CS, there's a request that has been made, but you may proceed to ask the question before the Honorable CS makes her request.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My questions is regarding on the alignment of urban housing development with infrastructure planning and provision in Kenya. Madam Waziri, kindly explain what safeguards exist to ensure that large-scale housing approvals, especially in rapidly growing urban centers, are tied to adequate drainage, sewerage, roads, power supply, schools, health facilities, and other trunk infrastructure. Number 2, that's B, what measures has the ministry put in place to ensure that physical planning approvals are not granted in a manner that outspaces service infrastructure provisioning? C, whether the ministry has undertaken an assessment of urban developments approved in the cities of Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, and Eldoret, and other fast-growing towns where housing growth has not been matched by supporting infrastructure, and if so, what were the findings? The last, what policy reforms is the ministry considering, including lessons from countries such as Singapore, to ensure mandatory sequencing and financing of trunk infrastructure before or alongside major housing developments? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable CS.
I have requested for more time to look at this question, which is work in progress, but I was not able to remit the answer, the response, because I felt it required more time and consultation, basically because this work, the questions she's raising are questions that I need to consult the COG, Council of Governors, in terms of these specific areas, and the linkage is needed for me to be able to put in a response. And therefore, when I look at it, I require more time, Honorable Speaker. But I have started working on the question, but the answers were not ready. And it is very wide, looking at it. So I seek more time.
Yes, Senator Fernandez.
Thank you, through the Speaker. Waziri, you are a senior lawyer, and under the 4th schedule, the national government is supposed to set standards. So maybe, Speaker, we need your guidance, because the setting of standards, especially on the issues of housing and approval, is done by the ministry. I agree the other part of implementation should console the county governments. But maybe, Chair, Speaker, with your indulgence, can the CS maybe give us the standard practice on how set standards have been done, so that when counties are doing approval of approvals of planning, of fiscal planning, of building and housing, because, Mr. Speaker, you have to appreciate here in Nairobi, everybody is building anything and everything across the city, which is not very tight in terms of even, and you remember on several occasions, there are people who don't see sunlight up to 11 a.m. Others, the sun sets early by 4 p.m. in the evening, especially in Kilimani and Alingam areas, Lavington areas, which were traditionally residential areas. So I thought the CS should tell us the zoning that has been done, not political zoning, but zoning that has been done within the cities, industrial, residential. What is the standard? That is my looking at fourth schedule on the functions of national government and county government. Maybe she can just give an hint. I agree, looking at it involves cities and urban centers that are run by counties. Maybe you can just give guidance on that. I yield back the mic, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we appreciate the response and the need for the CS to prepare adequately for that question. I would have appreciated if the CS would have touched something on what they are doing with affordable housing, considering that the program is coming out very well, and we want to congratulate the CS. That affordable housing program is one of the very, very successful projects this administration has undertaken. And the issue of now the accompanying infrastructure, Madam CS, like the sewerage, water, and so forth, I think is something I don't know whether you are in a position to touch or you want to come with a comprehensive, because we are seeing the way the houses are coming up, and we are appreciating that there will be requirement of water, sewerage. The issues of roads and other spaces, we are seeing very good work that is going. The only sector that we have not seen it being touched is on the sewerage and water. So I don't know whether there is a program around that so that it can also partially address what Senator Amida Kibwana is asking. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Senator Amida.
Mr. Speaker, mine is just actually, I want to understand also the CS. And I don't mind giving her time, but maybe she should just tell us this time frame that we need to give her, so that at least she could respond to the questions. Thanks, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, before I give guidance on this matter, do you wish to respond to the issues that have been raised, the concerns raised by honorable senators?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think the concerns they have raised and the supplementary questions from Mandago and the Senator Cheragai, I hope I got it correct, is that I require time to go deep into those issues. They are important issues. I don't want to, to just gloss over. And it is important that I need to bring out the question of the standards and guidelines and regulations, because the ministry at our level, we don't do planning for the cities and towns. We do, the planning is by the county governments. And some of the challenges actually the country will be facing, although there is the law guiding planning, is the fact that maybe different counties are applying the law differently, and that's why there is need for standardization. And I want to say that, and there's also need for regulation. The NCA does the regulation also. And of course, organizations institutions like NEMA are part of the national government agencies that assist because even before you go to build, then you also require NEMA's approval. All these approvals speak to the standard and guidelines of how the building and development should be undertaken. Of course, any development plan for building, Your Honorable Speaker, I'm just basically like giving a statement, one statement to say that there is always a checklist of what the developer should provide or should give as facilities, and that approval should not be granted until the entire list. And development plans, they have a list of, you must do 1, 2, 3, and those are the ones then guide the people supervising and allowing certificates of occupation finally to be given. But then, of course, generally the bigger question the Honorable Senator Amida wants to be answered is the linkage between the larger infrastructure support for the developments that are coming so quickly against then the existing infrastructure. And that's a big challenge for the country. And obviously, therefore, for us to be able to go to Singapore, we need to holistically look at the infrastructure in every. Previously, I think it worked well, but there is maybe some gaps in terms of implementation of the regulations and guidelines, and therefore the counties are a big partner in this work. Maybe then, of course, the affordable housing in every county has also to comply with the development plans and the requirements, including approvals, and we have an understanding with the counties on what should be done. And then, therefore, when you then see the National Infrastructure Fund having been passed by Parliament, becoming a critical fund to deal with the gaps in the infrastructure, and that means roads, access roads, street lighting, electricity, water, and sewerage. We still have those, and I'm sure we are all coming from counties. We know it's a big job there to be done, and we need to plan, especially for new cities. We need to plan better, but the law is existing, and where there is gaps, then Parliament, I'm sure, would be of help. So allow me, Honourable Speaker, to come back with this question in a comprehensive manner that will include what we have done as a ministry, what is the law in place, and how are we implementing, who is sleeping on their job, or is there anybody not sleeping on their job or sleeping on their job. I think I will be able to address some of the questions raised. There are 4 major questions. Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable CS. Now, pursuant to that request, this question stands deferred to a later date. Honourable CS, you shall receive a communication from the Senate as to when you will come back for purposes of responding to question number 045. Otherwise, thank you for appearing today, and you may leave at your own pleasure. Thank you so much, Honourable CS. Next order.